So we are recording, apparently.
All right, people, we are live. You can see us, right?
I hope. I hope they can.
We didn't want to leave backstage. We are having such a good conversation back there. So th thanks everyone for joining us. I'm Richard Baitlick. If you've ever wondered how to pronounce my last name, there it is. And I'm happy to be here with Starfield Eclipse.
Oh, nice to see you guys. It's a pleasure to be here, especially with Richard. I've been watching your content for quite some time. I do enjoy it. I love the news coverage.
Well, thank you. I've gotten a little bit away from news because it's just so well, we can talk about that, right? The type of content I started out making was just stuff that I was interested in, how to find a ship, whatever. And then I went into news and I quickly found that while news was great on a weekly basis, it had zero life and I even couldn't find what I had talked about previously. So I went to more dedicated videos just so I could say, like, someone would say, well, have you talked about this? And I could say, yes, here's my video that I could find. So, what was your reason for making videos, and how'd you get started?
Uh, you know, um, I would say it's probably my journey with Starfield. So, I've been playing Bethesda games since about 2002, and I normally get Bethesda games the moment they come out. Starfield was a little bit different because I heard a lot of negativity around it. So I ended up not even playing Starfield until 2 months after its launch. And that was because I went over to my brother's house and he had a copy of it. And I'm like, you know what? Everyone's talking negatively about this game. I'm going to go ahead and play through the intro. And I absolutely loved the game. The moment I took off in the frontier, I was absolutely in love with the game. Um, and then from there, the decision to like kind of start making content was kind of incidental and kind of also intentional at the same time. So I was, recording a lot of videos on my Xbox because it was pretty easy to do. Like the Xbox makes it easy to record things. And
Yeah.
YouTube, I was able to like they have like a little bit of a editor within like the shorts where you can kind of like add music and stuff. And I was just like filming like Eclipse videos because I thought they were cool and I was using the shorts editor to like edit them. But at the same time, I was also seeing a ton of like negative commentary in a lot of the different Facebook groups where people were being like posting the screenshot and then they would be like harassed in the comments like the game sucks, it's terrible.
Mm.
And YouTube was kind of almost like an outlet where I could push back a little bit on a lot of the commentary around it, and a lot of the particularly like the over the top negative content where it was dramatizing everything, making it to seem like it was the worst game ever. And then also there was a lot of content gaps within Starfield content. So like one of the very early videos I made was a video on inventory management and just how to like manage your inventory because a lot of players would be asking this question within like different Facebook groups, etc. And they would be like, I'm over encumbered or my ship's full. And it's like, okay, you're not really understanding the concept of like inventory management within Starfield and how this game aspect plays out. So it was that was probably like the first big video I made that actually got like over 1,000 views. It was just breaking down how inventory management works. And then from there it was kind of just like picking topics where people were there was misconceptions or there was knowledge gaps and players were having difficulty figuring things out. Things like how do I steal a ship? A lot of players like has struggled with that concept and can I make this easy and understandable for the average layperson to like pick up and be like, oh, this is how I steal a ship. So it was a lot of that and just kind of seeing content gaps and getting tired of explaining myself in text, whereas I could just make a video that just presents, whatever the topic is, and I could just link it to people when they're asking questions. Like, here you go, you have a nice little guide on like how to steal a ship or how to like manage your inventory, know what to loot, when to loot it. So yeah, I guess as a follow-up question, how did you start?
So I started with my same story, Xbox. I didn't know how to get a video from the Xbox into YouTube. So I streamed on Twitch And of course, no one watched, but I was able to make the Twitch recording something that I could download. I didn't even know how to edit a video. I think I used like FFmpeg by command line to chop off the beginning and the end, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. And I did that for a while until I figured out how to use Shotcut, which is an open source video editing application. And then I started to slowly edit videos. And then in the spring of 24, I got this PC that I'm using, which was my first gaming PC. Like I'm so old, you know, the first computer I ever gamed on was a terminal that was connected to a bank that was at my friend. You know, my friend had his father worked at a bank, and he had this terminal that you could play Star Trek on, and the interface was printed out to you in front of this terminal. So I had never had a gaming PC. Right? Like I had played Doom on a 386 or whatever back in the day. So once I got all this stuff together, I was able to, you know, record in a nice quality and edit the software, you know, edit the videos and upload them. And then I decided to have a regular schedule, and you know, here we are. So you know, tomorrow I've got a video coming out, and hope people like it. And at this point, I completely agree with what you just said. Talking about a video game is often done well through a video medium. When I first started wanting to share stuff about cybersecurity, you know, almost 23 years ago, when I started my blog, I did it because blogging was a popular way to do that. Would I do videos now? Maybe, but I don't care about that as much. But you know, talking about a video game, I think the video is the best way to do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think this is a good topic to discuss because, like, I kind of brought up like the negative connotations and like trolls and stuff. Like, how do you handle that? And I think we do have different approaches for this. Um,
Yeah. So I will briefly go because then I want to hear more about yours because mine is very simple. I have zero tolerance. I am in this for fun. I don't hang around in any other content areas and troll people. So I tolerate none of that in my area. If you're in my feed for any reason to be negative, you're gone. I I don't care. Now that's bad for the algorithm because it's less engagement. I just don't care. You know, I'm not in it for subs and likes. I'm in it for reach. I would like people to know that Starfield is a great game. It has a lot to offer, and you need to cut through the negativity to find that out in some cases. But that's the way I am. Now, I want to hear how you handle it because I get a lot of entertainment looking at the way you handle some of these commenters.
well, I do have a lot of fun with this. I guess if I was giving advice to someone who's just starting out, the mute button is your absolute friend. This is put there for like mental health reasons.
Mm,
Like utilize it. Early on, I utilized that button like crazy. I muted people like I've gone back, I've unmuted a lot of them. But early on, you know, when you're just starting out with YouTube and you might get like 200 views on a video and you get 10 negative comments and that's
mm,
it, that can be very detrimental and kind of like want to stop you right in your progress. Whereas like I think people need to understand, at least looking at your like analytics, you might get like say 10 negative comments on a video, but you might get like 200 likes. That means there's 200
mm,
people that liked the video. Maybe they didn't have anything to say about the video, but they agreed with you. They liked it, they enjoyed it. Most commenters are people, they're either fans of your content or they are there to basically troll. And you've kind of set them off a little bit. Myself right now currently I almost never mute people. I did that a lot early on, but I almost never mute people. The people I do mute are usually the ones that are being intellectually dishonest. They're
mm,
committing some kind of logical fallacy, and what I have found is like most of those people, if you correct them, they're going to jump to another logical fallacy because their whole point isn't about finding truth. It's about winning an argument, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win that argument. Uh, but a lot of times, I like to troll people back when they are kind of trolling me.
You
Uh,
and Ren fail, right?
yeah, you got to have fun with them a little bit, and it is good for the algorithm having discussions like that go on because the algorithm it's basically just picking up like the count of comments and it goes,
Mm,
oh, this is red hot because people are arguing. Start feeding out your video. a lot more. So I typically do not mute people unless they're being like intellectually dishonest about their like takes on stuff. Then I'll mute them. Or um, this is another pattern I've noticed where people won't comment directly on your video. They will just reply to others,
Hmm.
and they will troll them. Those people will get muted, and that's just me basically protecting my fan base. I myself, I have a pretty thick skin. Like you can say whatever the heck you want to me. You can even tell me my videos are garbage. I will admit it to you. The editing is not the best. A lot of times the audio's poor, it's subpar. Um, so it's fine. You can tell me those kinds of things. Great, whatever. And a lot of times you get some good feedback from people like that. Um, but yeah, it's at least I don't typically mute people anymore. Usually I kind of like will troll them back a little bit. Especially like when they say like, oh, there's nothing in Starfield. It's like, well, there's like 250 points of interest on par with what have you, or the wonderful Steam commentary. There's only
Oh,
2.5 thousand players. It's like, well, that's currently right now, and this has got a very international player base, and that covers one storefront of all of them where you can purchase Starfield. So
yeah.
having a lot of fun with kind of trolling comments and see like, how can I redirect this conversation back to something that's more reasonable. Some people, it's like, you just got to mute them.
Yeah. Well, something I've done in recent, actually within the last week, was I have muted our Starfield. I used to put up with it. I used to just be there because I figured, it'll turn into just a post-apocalyptic wasteland if all the fans leave and it's just trolls left behind. But I got tired of it. I just said, this is enough. Like I've never engaged with Steam because that is just so, I mean, what is it, all 12-year-olds? It's just unbelievable
Oh
how terrible
my
people are.
gosh.
But then our Starfield, I just got tired of it. And what's going to come next probably is Starfield mods, because if you sell a paid mod, oh
Probably.
my god, and especially if you forget to flare it, woo, that's
Yeah, like the whole like paid mod debacle where people like get so offended by that.
yeah,
I personally I do not see any issues with someone asking for money for their labor. At the end of the day, as a consumer, you don't have to purchase it at all. Like if someone overprices something, just don't buy it. It's simple. And it's like
yeah,
I look at my viewer demographics. Like I know the average age of fans, they're adults. I'm sure, they're able to practice like economic discretion and avoid those things. But yeah, that's definitely one of my like kind of pet peeve like talking points that people make is like all mods should be free. It's like I'm kind of going to side with labor here. If you're putting in work, you do have a right to ask for money.
yeah. I do think so. I'm active in open source software, and I'm in cybersecurity, and to a lesser degree now because I'm older, but martial arts. And so with those three communities, the tribalism that you see, and especially with the open source, the sense of entitlement you see in users is just off the
Hmm.
charts. So the entitlement stuff, that's what always what comes to mind when I see the whole paid mod debate. But the tribalism is what reminds me that what we're seeing with Starfield, there's nothing unique about that. In
Oh
the
no.
martial arts community, your martial art has to be the best. Otherwise, you wasted 20 years of your life studying it. And nobody wants to hear that. And the only time anything ever broke through that mentality was when the UFC was first launched in 93, and all the people who were studying karate and ninjutsu and all this stuff got their worlds destroyed. But then within about 10 years it was all back. So I think it's the same thing with, I mean, you see it with Linux versus Windows, Nvidia versus AMD. It's BGS versus others, even within BGS, right? It's certain Fallout genres versus Fallout
You
New
can see
Vegas
it just
versus
in
whatever.
Fallout right there. Oh
Yeah,
my God, the tribalism in Fallout alone is just staggering. It's like
yeah,
I enjoy those games, but I cannot participate with the fan base because it's like which Fallout do you like? And it's like I like all of them for different reasons.
yeah. If I
Like
had one big disclaimer I could put on videos, it would be it is okay for me to like this and for you to not like it and for you to like other things. Like my liking this does not invalidate your liking something else. And the same thing with disliking. Like you can not like that. Like for example, like I don't care at all for the new Star Trek uh academy show or whatever. I'm actually an academy graduate. I know what it's like to go to the military academy, but I'm not in there trolling their subreddits or whatever. So yeah.
I find it very strange behavior. Like I don't have time in my day to go trolling, fan groups that I do not like. There's tons of games that I'm not a fan of. I'm not going to sit there and go out there to Reddit and sit there and troll all this stuff. But I've been a BGS fan for a while, and I think Starfield definitely, the amount of tribalism around Starfield is just, I would say it's probably the worst I've seen in Bethesda games ever.
I think
Like
people are
Fallout
afraid.
gets pretty bad, but Starfield, like people feel shafted because they thought Elder Scrolls 6 should have been next up. And
Yeah.
Fallout people wanting their like Fallout 5. And it's like, oh man, I get it. Like I like these games too. I would love to be playing Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5, but they made Starfield and I enjoy Starfield.
Yeah.
Um,
So, hey, I know we started a little bit late because the whole schedule has shifted back a couple minutes. So I want to respect that, our upcoming guests. Is there anything you quickly want to say about what might be coming on your channel or anything like that?
uh Geez, I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. I don't have any plans. I'm gonna be honest. Um, I do plan on getting back to a lot of mod reviews, so I'm going to be doing that probably over the next couple weeks. Probably also some news and commentary. Hopefully, the next update and DLC drops soon because I do have some content planned around that. Um, so when that does drop, there will be a ton of content that I'll be producing for that. But I think that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, maybe my goal is to continue producing at least a video on the weekends. And if I can do a midweek, I will do that. And I'm going to try to balance more paid versus free because I put off the paid stuff for so many months, literally, that I just had this huge backlog. And then a lot of people sort of were upset that I was doing a lot of paid reviews. Not, no one was paying me. I was reviewing things that I had bought. But
Mhm.
now I'm trying to balance it out a little bit more as I've made it through that queue. So anyway, I think we're out of time. I'd like to thank everyone who attended our session, and Eclipse, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope we can do this again sometime.
Oh, absolutely. Love talking to you.
All right. See everybody in the chat.
I'll see you guys.